Hey everyone, hope your day is going well. We are back with another reaction, a little bit of a different video today. Usually I try to keep it in the positive sphere, but this video popped up onto my feed. I wanted to check it out, maybe get a little bit of an idea of some other people because I do have some followers from the US and from pretty much everywhere, mostly on my main channel, but here too. And we checked out a few videos on the channel here from the more innocent times and the good times, mostly related to the US. And the people that have been following me know that I grew up on that culture here in Belgium. There wasn't really much to do as a kid. I tried to escape in American films and series and cinema, and I loved it. I went over there. I always wanted to go when I was 21. I had some money saved up, went to New York, visit, do the touristy stuff. Always wanted to go back. And financial things, you can't always get back. You become a parent, work, this and that. You go to other places. But man, I've been really, one of the bucket list items is to visit more of the States, right? And I've been mentioning that in videos. People say, maybe not so much right now. Some people say, come over. Some others might say, hey, we don't need you here. But I wonder what's going on. Is it becoming too expensive? Tariffs. We keep hearing about those. Is it safety? Is it the leadership? Is it a combination of both things? So let's see if this video gives any clarity. And are these numbers correct? That's another question. What can we believe?
The U.S. is tracking a big drop in tourism from around the world. Take a look at this. Travel from Canada and Mexico was down double digits in March. We're also seeing fewer visitors from Western Europe, Central and South Asia, South America, I should say.
Here in New York, tourism is also being hit big time, once again driven by negative sentiment toward the USA.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media.
But these videos, you gotta be careful with these videos. They shoot them, you're gonna be the first one on the plane. I mean, people are still going, but I do believe less people are going. I do believe that, but empty planes, yeah, maybe, but I'm taking that one with a grain of salt.
International flights have many tourists flying to the USA practically alone. Shauna Massengill flew from London to Chicago. Look, barely anyone on board.
There was nobody there. There was nobody in my row. It was really shocking. I've never been on a flight like that.
Something strange is happening in 2025. For decades, the United States stood tall as the dream destination, the land of skyscrapers, movie stars, and bucket list vacations.
But exactly. That's it for me, man. I've only done one trip. It's been a while. And listen. You see the people being detained there. The ICE raids. I am aware of this. I do live in Belgium. I don't really follow the news too much because you get kind of depressed, leave that one out. But I am aware of a lot of things. I do know. Just don't want that 24/7 news cycle. And you see my name, right? You see the color of my skin. Guys, I do not want to go there and get detained and sent off to a country I'm not even from, right? I don't know. I see reports it's without due process. Some people say no. Who can I believe? What's going on? What is going on? But I do have to mention, when I did go to New York, this was 2009. They did pull me apart at JFK, New York, a city, to answer some questions. They said, because you have an Arabic name, you're going to have to come with us. My wife, then girlfriend, she was panicking. She didn't even see them taking me into the back room, right? I said, whoa, I'm in a movie. So yeah, I got in there. They asked me all kinds of questions, the usual, what are you doing here, this and that. Where are you staying? What do you do for a living? All of that. Kind of like, whoa, what the hell? I was 21, maybe 22 years old. And then, just one funny thing was, and people said that was risky. I've told this story before. That was risky. I said, yeah, we're here for, just the touristy stuff. And this guy says, why you keep saying we? Who is this we? I said, yeah, me and my girlfriend, and why isn't she here for questioning? I said, well, she's white. I got it. I had to slip a joke in there. Fortunately, the guy laughed. Fortunately, the guy laughed. He was having a good day. He said, okay, you can go. But okay, imagine this. You know, nowadays, I wouldn't make that joke anymore. I was 22 years old. Nowadays, I wouldn't do it anymore, man. They would shit me off.
This year, that dream is cracking. Global tourism is changing fast,
expensive,
and
right?
for the first time in a generation, the U.S. isn't on the winning side. In the past, travelers came not just for the views, but for what America represented: freedom, innovation, opportunity. But now, concerned, people are second-guessing. They're skipping the Statue of Liberty, avoiding Times Square, choosing other destinations. Not because of distance or price, but because something deeper is shifting. In country after country, we're seeing the same pattern: hesitation. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady and growing. Business travel is stalling.
Okay.
Student exchanges are declining. Entire airline routes are quietly disappearing, and the data doesn't lie. In 2025, American tourism is no longer the safe bet it once was. According to the U.S. Travel Association's April snapshot, international visits have dropped significantly across key regions, including Western Europe. What's causing this? It's not one big moment. It's a combination of many. Let's talk about trust. Across Europe and Asia, travelers report rising concerns about U.S. immigration, long border waits, aggressive questioning, even racial profiling. National headlines are
Look. That is true. Like, and I kind of get it. I get it, guys. There's been awful things been done in the name of religion and stuff. Even religion that I grew up in. My father is Muslim, right? I understand that, being scared and frightened and stuff. There's a double-edged sword. I get it. I get it from both sides of the fence, right? But it is true. Because I can't attest for all the numbers and figures in this video, but I can from real life experience, just going over there once. That is true. Kind of aggressive questioning. It was okay. It was okay. The guy was pretty friendly, just stern, right? Of course, that's, this type of interrogation techniques, I get it. The guy was just doing his job. But that's true. And I know for a lot of people in my vicinity, some people are still going their yearly trip to New York. They just can't do without. They're just gonna go. Whatever. They just need to go there because they love it so much. But there's, I wanted to go. First of all, prices are crazy, and then there are some safety concerns there too. So yeah, man, there definitely is truth to this.
Filled with stories of detentions and visa denials, even for professionals and students. These aren't rumors. They're real events, documented, shared, and amplified. In Germany, the government officially updated its travel guidance after several German citizens, including students, were detained at American airports. According to Reuters, the German Foreign Ministry stated that even a valid visa no longer guarantees entry into the U.S. In Japan, NHK, the national broadcaster, covered multiple incidents of engineers and tourists being held for hours by U.S. customs officers, fueling frustration among businesses and universities. And in Australia, SmartTraveller, the government's travel advisory service, issued multiple warnings about inconsistent airport security and increased scrutiny at U.S. borders. Meanwhile, Flight Centre, the country's largest travel agency, reported a 16% drop in U.S. bookings while travel to Japan and New Zealand surged. On social media, Australians share stories of invasive phone checks, long delays, and general unease.
I was questioned by one of the officers, and then shortly after, my mother and I were taken into a room. We were held there for quite some time before my mum was released, and then I was unfortunately remaining behind for further interrogation, and then that was about a 4 to 5 hour ordeal before I was taken to the federal detention center.
Wow, that is scary. Now that I'm, this for me that's been 15 years ago, of course, but now I kind of see why I was lucky to get through. Gee, it was a great trip though. It was a great trip. It was a great trip. I want to go again. So hopefully, that will ease up, because people need tourism too, right? There's so many businesses out there that rely on tourism, not only tourism from inside the country, but also tourism from abroad. Yeah, because it wasn't like Manhattan to New York City, one of the most visited cities in the world or places in the world, right? Always at least in the top 3 or so. And of course, the rest of the country, there's Vegas. There's so many great things out there to see. I want to see them. Let me come over there. Yeah.
.com.au ran a widely shared article describing
sad,
first-hand accounts of travelers being ordered to unlock their phones or face immediate deportation. This isn't just about tourism anymore. It's about identity, values, reputation. For many international travelers, America once symbolized optimism. Now, it often represents uncertainty. And let's not ignore the political elephant in the room. Serious tariffs, trade tensions, diplomatic friction. These don't just impact policy, they ripple down to everyday travelers. Flights get cut, insurance premiums rise, confidence in the travel experience falters. And the response has been swift. In Canada, the country's closest neighbor, Forbes reported that in April alone, air travel to the US from Canada dropped nearly 20%, while land border crossings fell over 35%. Canadian media and forums are filled with discussions urging travelers to skip the States and spend their money elsewhere. Global news highlighted a growing trend: Canadians canceling Florida vacations and buying properties in Portugal or Mexico instead. Realistic airlines are responding too. Air Canada has reduced routes to US cities and increased flights to Latin America and Europe. The truth is, the world still wants to believe in the US. The culture, the music, the technology, it's still admired, but concerned. But in 2025, admiration isn't enough. What people want now is respect, safety, and consistency. In France, Le Monde published a front-page piece suggesting that America has lost its romantic image. French travel agencies report double-digit decline.
Man. Kind of breaks my heart, man. Because it's kind of true. But I also believe it can come back, and sometimes even quicker than one would imagine.
Declines in U.S. bookings, with many travelers now opting for Spain, Greece, or Quebec. The French no longer view the U.S. as a guaranteed ally. Polls show
shooting up tourists there with water pistols. There's a lot of mass tourism, which is also another problem, of course. There's so many people and so many disrespectful tourists as well, man. They're just like, you're walking around like as a tourist and you feel ashamed because there's some loud people throwing garbage on the floor next to you. It's like, oh my God, this is awful. Like, I don't want to come here anymore because the people see I'm a tourist, but I don't want to get lumped in with these guys over here.
That over 70% of French citizens now hold unfavorable views of American leadership. Can this trend reverse? Absolutely. But it's going to take work, and not just flashy advertising campaigns. It will require reforming how America treats foreign visitors. That means clearer border policies, cultural sensitivity training, and deeper cooperation with foreign consulates. Because tourism isn't just economics, it's diplomacy, it's storytelling, it's how people relate to a place before they ever step foot in it. And when visitors stop coming, it's not just lost money, it's lost trust, lost relationships. If America wants to remain a beacon of inspiration, it must repair more than runways. It must repair its image. Maybe that starts with empathy, with realizing that every traveler, every passport carries a story and deserves dignity. What do you think? Is the US still the dream destination it once was? Or are we witnessing a quiet unraveling of something much bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this report insightful, hit like, subscribe, and share. Because understanding the shift in global tourism isn't just about where we're going, it's about where we feel welcome. In 2025, that welcome is starting to fade, and rebuilding it begins now.
Oh, come on! That's it right there. That's America, people. That's the America I love. Oh, that saxophone. Invented by a Belgian, the saxophone. Come on. Look. Like he said, the political elephant in the room, which I usually don't really get into because I'm not well versed enough in these things to comment on it. But I did see Trump say, like, oh, America's the hottest country in the world right now. I don't know if the people in the US watch that, whether you support him or not. Do you believe that? Because, I don't think that's true. There's people with different opinions on this in Europe as well. There's people who support him. There's people who don't support him. I would think the majority is like, oh man, it's just too volatile, right? There's no stability. Where is the peace and unifying that you were saying you're going to bring, right? It's not really there. So that is the lack of trust there, because you say one thing, you do another, which is politics 101, right? Okay, not the first politician who lies, and not the last one either. But you kind of hoped like, okay, yeah, if you're saying that, bring peace and unity. Well, all right, I welcome that. We all would welcome it. I don't care who brings peace and unity. If it gets done, proper credit due where credit is due. If you bring peace and unity, do it. But as far as we've seen right now, it's not happening at all. And I think that is playing into people not jumping to go to the US, because you pay a lot of money, right? You pay a lot of money. You save years maybe to go there. Flights are expensive. Hotels are expensive. And, food, all of that. You want to have a great experience. If you're going to cough up 5 or 10K, or however, whatever your budget is, you kind of want to go there and be safe and have a good time and get in. If you get denied entry, what then? So yeah, I understand that lack of trust, man. It's heartbreaking. I truly hope that will change. And yeah, we can just get along, man. Can't we all get along, right? I guess not. There's a lot of anger right now on all sides. And I imagine even on this video, that will be the same. Look, I get it. There's problems. Problems need to be fixed. But there's ways to go about that. All right, man. This was interesting. I hope I can visit the US one day again and explore more of the country. Hey, thank you everybody for being here. Hope you have a great day. Goodbye.